Hey! Hello guys in the chat, hello Dota people, thank you all very much for tuning in. My name is Epi, with me is Durka. Durka, what will we be doing, Durka? We will be talking while people are playing a game of Dota 2, and we're loading into this said game. SGC is going to be taking on Next.kz, and I think this should be very interesting. Again, this is for the defense, sponsored by BenQ as well as Razer, hosted by Join Dota. Shout out to all those guys over there. Shout out to all you guys being silly in the chat as well. And we all like couches. I think this is something that needs to be said. Durka, what did you answer the question with? One guy in the chat asked who was the best carry in the game, in my opinion, at the moment. I said Morphling, just in my opinion, and disregarding the fact that it's hard to answer such questions. And what was your answer?
There is none.
Of course, man. You are the technician here, and there's nothing. I didn't expect a different answer out of you, I guess. And now, shout out to the people that are watching the game via the Dota 2 thing itself. And now, please praise me for not forgetting to turn on the in-game sound as well. Let me switch you guys into here. Bam! As you can see right there, I am also talking to you guys in Dota 2 itself. So, if you want to reward me with that, then subscribe to my YouTube channel. There you go. epicommentary.com. Now we're waiting on Next.kz Mantis to load in, and his boys from Next.kz will go up against, again, SGC. They were also invited to the last international, not to this one unfortunately, because the performance apparently wasn't there. But SGC consisting of Kranich, Off-Ek. I really need to be careful to not pronounce this in a way that would sound derogatory. You know? Yeah. Yeah, some people see what that guy did there with his name. Warlog, Tulex, of course, with them shackles, and Professor Headshot will go up against, of course, Next.kz. They've been around for a while, a team that is capable of taking on the best of the best if they hit a nice day. Mantis, Reeves, Lucky, Stalcat, Equal will be doing this, and please, 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 please work out. Don't fail. Don't fail. Don't fail. Okay, Durka, make sure that you are back in the game. I will have to switch out of this. Sorry guys. Do that. If you X, you have to X that window, right? You know that?
Oh, you press the top left button now I'm back in lobby.
No, press the top right X first.
¿Qué pasa?
Can you go back into the game and then press the X at the top right?
Yeah, oh sorry, I meant top right, not top.
Okay.
Yeah, don't
Man, don't scare me like that, dude. Because yesterday, guys, in case you don't know, Durka is a jerk. There, I said it. You're a jerk.
Come on, that wasn't my fault.
Yesterday, we went into a game, and apparently Durka had a date or something with a girl, because he needed to find a way to get himself out of this co-cast with me. And all of a sudden, the game was remade, and Durka said, I wasn't in the lobby, dude. And then I was all by myself.
I was trying to say my game has crashed, but you were too busy listening to the sound of your own voice. And I thought I could get back in time, but obviously not.
I like to do that a lot of times, but here we go. Everything worked out fine this time around, and we're in the draft. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Oh, wait, actually people said I should stop doing that, so whatever. Do what you want, guys. SGC banning out Broodmother first. As of late, she's been actually really, really powerful. Teams, she has a pretty high win percentage, actually. Even though I don't have the exact one, it should be somewhere around 180%. And Enchantress is the only semi-unorthodox first ban right now, and both teams are going at it really fast, man. SGC already through with all their bans. What do we have in the pool? Darkseer is left in the pool, and Leshrac there gets picked up. Windrunner's also there, and first pick from SGC is going to be Leshrac, and Darkseer will be picked up from Next.kz. It's going to be the first game since a long time that we will actually be seeing a Darkseer. Durka, what do you think?
I saw one a couple of days ago, I can't remember who it was, but they tried to turtle, but they failed, and they just lost the early game and never managed to bring it back. They tried and tried, but they slipped a couple of times outside of their base. But it's a hero where if you do slip up early game, you can defend within your base if you play it correctly. It's a really, really strong hero just to pull games back if you mess up, but obviously he can be strong in the early mid-game as well if you build up that quick pipe and get that at 13, 14 minutes or so if he's on that solo lane or in the forest. Yeah, he's a very strong hero.
Yeah, and now Mantis taking his time with the second pick. What do you think he's going to go for? That question actually is all done because Enigma will be the second pickup. Either, well, Darkseer and Enigma both are able to do the long range soul and both are able to do the jungle. One of them is most certainly going to do it. I got my finger pointed on Enigma. I'm going to guess that he will be the jungler for Next.kz, although that's not set in stone, and obviously that vacuum is a brilliant setup for that black hole. And Enigma Darkseer is a very nice base they got for themselves, and as you said, Darkseer is a very strong turtling hero. In case you guys are not really sure what we mean by that, it's a very strong hero to take advantage of the high ground position. You can defend your tier 3 very effectively with that hero because you are again at advantage in terms of your positioning when the enemy wants to come up your high ground. It is a very narrow path to get up your high ground, which is just the perfect invitation for a skilled Darkseer player to get all you guys in a vacuum and then throw his wall right on top of that, and you will immediately be in a all-out team fight against your illusions that deal like a big percentage of your damage. I think with an Agnum Scepter is 90% or something ridiculous like that of your own damage, and that's just the effect that one hero with one ultimate has, and not even taking into account Enigma with his black hole, which is just a perfect invitation afterwards, so that you have 5 illusions dealing 90% damage, just chopping away during the duration of the black hole, as well as your other teammates just going at it as well. So they got themselves a strong base there, and Kranich is taking his time. He's not picked his second or third hero just yet. Probably having some respect of the 2 heroes that made it through. Again, Darkseer doesn't make it through the ban phase, the first ban phase that is, very often. It is actually pretty rare that we see that hero getting picked in the last couple of weeks or even months, simply because he is really powerful. That ultimate is ridiculous, and IceFrog realized that as well after teams started getting that Agnum Scepter up on him and just sieging the base by back in the day with Agnum Scepter you could even get illusions of your own heroes, allied heroes, and that was just off the charts. But that is a thing of the past, and Kranich did decide now for Shadow Demon and Lone Druid, two other very strong heroes that were still left in the pool that also get banned from time to time.
Yeah, you can see here, Kranich is very worried about his big team fight potential of the Radiant side, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Next.kz pick up something like Sand King, just to round that off, but obviously they're going for a more rounded, possible split push lineup here from SGC, with that Lone Druid who's very capable of picking up that Radiance at 20-25 minutes and starting to, a timing push there. The Shadow Demon able to round off the utility and support on his side, and also a great setup for that Lesh stun.
You said it perfectly. Leshrac with Shadow Demon is a sick combination. Look at those two guys. Look at their faces. You can immediately tell that they're up to no good. And Lone Druid, we saw actually the Blonde, a stand-in for Na'Vi yesterday when they went up against who, Durka? Fnatic, raid call, bam, didn't need you. He had a full inventory, man. He had like his bear was set and he was set, and it's that thing, man. When a game goes all that late, you simply have 12 slots. That is what pros will always talk about. When games go really late, one of the most important factors is how many good items can you carry, because there's only 6 items in almost all cases in which you can invest gold into, because you can't carry more. And the Lone Druid, of course, has his bear with 6 slots, and there you go. That was one factor that led to Navi's victory yesterday against Fnatic Raid Call. And the last pick in the first pick phase from Next.kz is going to be Windrunner, adding that crucial shackle shot. It looks like a very nasty combination if you ask me, Durka. Just vacuum, black hole, and shackle shot. Oh man, it's going to be tough.
If I take a look at the last 2 bans from SGC, they don't want Mantis on the anti-mage, they don't want Mantis on the Morphling, because they are the 2 heroes that he plays most commonly, all the way through the international qualifiers. He was playing Morphling and anti-mage, he was trying to carry his team, farm up the items he needed, and basically win the game. Not really 5v1, but if you get my drift, he was the linchpin in their strats.
Absolutely, man. Good point you made there, and SGC did their homework. They apparently put their eggs into that basket that Next.kz would use the first 3 picks to secure themselves a good base. And they did. They did secure themselves a good base, but at least Mantis will not get his hands onto that anti-mage and onto that Morphling. If you haven't seen the international qualifiers with Next.kz, then check out Join Dota VODs, man, and look for the Next.kz games. Mantis plays an amazing carry. It's just ridiculous. And well, Durka, check out that last pick, man.
Well, yeah, first of all, the Sand King that got picked up by SGC, I was expecting it to be picked up by Next, but they don't have any bans left for SGC, so they've actually taken that themselves, and yeah, Gyrocopter has the 4th pick from Next. If he gets up his Aghanim's relatively quickly, that's a global nuke and slow, which can come on top of the vacuum into Black Hole as well, so he doesn't actually have to be there, but he will add a huge amount to these team fights, and we've seen him being played a couple of times in the past week. If I remember correctly, Infused played him 2 days ago, and also MTW have been practicing with him and playing with him as well. And that's Storm there, that's Hanik's core hero, he'll be playing that solo mid.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if I should call him Kranich, like you're supposed to say, or Kranich. I think I'll go with Kranich just because most people kind of pronounce his name that way, so sorry, dear Kranich, for raping your name. Ah, bad word, I'm not supposed to say that. For destroying your name like that.
We're not allowed to use the R word.
Well, yeah, there's some people that will be like, oh my goodness, you said the bad word and I will never watch you again. I'm not making fun of you, guys. I'm not. Gyrocopter, man, I don't know if he's been working out very well. We'll see how Next.kz fares with that hero. This is what I think. I don't even know what to think about this pickup. The rocket is just really annoying. Obviously, pro teams will take good care of attacking that one down before it actually hits the target. In pub games, it's so frustrating. It's like a rocket flies towards you, and it takes like a billion seconds to get there. It has to pass through like 28 heroes and 5 towers, and it still hits you because people don't attack it.
Well, that's something I was going to bring up. A few times, if we have seen him over the past week, he hasn't been maxing the homing missile or the rocket barrage. He's actually been going for the flat cannon, so he deals out massive amounts of DPS in these team fights. Add that to a black hole and flat cannon, and for the 7 attacks that he'll have, if you've got some big DPS items, you know, he's going to be dealing massive damage in there. And Earthshake on top of that, the team fight potential of this next side is just sickening.
Yeah, it is actually. And a good point about that rocket, what's rocket flare is called?
The first spell is Rocket Barrage, where he's got the AoE rockets. The second spell is the homing missile, the lock-on, and they usually just level those up, you know, 1 or 2 skill points
Flat
early
cannon,
on.
yeah, that's what you said.
And then the third is the flat cannon, which is the massive AoE, where he spreads his attack out. How many targets does he have? It's all the targets in the area, I'm sure.
And yeah.
Yeah.
And basically your analysis was dead on because Mantis will be playing that Gyrocopter. Man, I'm pumped for this. This will be good. Again, this is the defense, guys. Next.kz up against SGC. MTW against Next.kz was postponed because effing Matt's computer broke down. My condolences. How's it called?
Condolences.
Okay, that one. To you, good sir. Frickin' Mad. You must be making a big honor toward your name right now because losing your computer must be pretty shitty. Starcat will be playing Windrunner, Mantis again on Gyrocopter, skilling homing missile first, Reeves on Darkseer, their one hero that barely ever makes it into a game, equal on Earthshaker, and Lucky on the Enigma, grabbing himself some wards and leaving his base a little bit late. Good luck, have fun, gets called out, Tulix immediately replies, and looks like a very nice round of players right now. And it appears that before the creep wave spawns at the 0-second mark, we will not have any action because the Dire is in their jungle, and the Radiant in theirs. This bear is just a very nice tool also for scouting out runes as they're doing right now. This bear picks it up. Interesting, as soon as the bear picked up the double damage rune, the icon above his head saying that he can't attack disappeared. So maybe just some interesting things optically to note. Kranich going to be playing Stone Spirit toward the top lane, apparently being supported by Professor Headshot on Sand King. Middle lane, Tulex on Lishrak with Shadow Demon played by Offak. Oh man, I will screw that one up. Just a very dangerous lane. You gotta just always be. This range right here is what you gotta be worried about. That disruption range, because as soon as you get disrupted, the Lishrak will be there to follow up with that stun. Add a Soul Catcher into the mix as well as like a Diabolic Edict, and you are pretty much screwed. And Warlock will be playing Lone Druid toward the bottom lane. And yeah, what do you think, man?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Sand King stacking and pulling, so he's not going to get a massive amount of farm, but it looks like they're going to have a go on this Darkseer, or just annoy him a little bit. Yeah, get a few right clicks in, won't waste any mana on a stun, I don't believe. He'll go back and pull that creep. No, he's going to carry on going. Okay, so he's missed his pull now. Unless he goes with large cap pull? Yeah, he's going to go for the large cap pull. No. No, he's just going to ignore me and do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Like, shut up, Durka. I do what I want. You're not the master of me. Stun now skill as well. He comes back into the lane. Reeves now might get some stunnage. I think he just wants to establish some lane dominance. He's like, dude, you want to get to that creep wave? You can't. I'm a Scorpion. But apparently Darkseer doesn't care. He's just like, man, get off me. And during the entire time of that fictitious argument, Stone Spirit farmed himself up 8 to 5 last hits. And on the bottom lane, Mantis 6 for 3. Warlock 5 for 0. But that Spirit Bear, already quite low, gets recalled for no apparent reason right now. And which lane do you think right now, or like going from top mid to bottom, who will have the advantage on which lane?
Well, on top, obviously, there's lots of pulling and stacking going on from the SK, but he's going to miss out on experience. And if he doesn't get every single last hit on these creeps, the neutrals, he's going to miss out on gold as well. Storm having to fight under his tower. So that's a little bit of a detriment to him.
Middle lane, disruption goes out on Windrunner. Sorry for interrupting you. Tulix will time his stun right now. It does hit on Stalkcat. Hasty on Shadow Demon, tanking the tower a little bit as well. Now the Windrunner's popped, and that will save Stalkcat's life right now. Oi, oi, oi.
And obviously the Darkseer is having to sit quite far back, but with his Iron Shell he'll always pick up some form of gold. At middle, as we just saw, that disruption into Split Earth takes a huge chunk out of Starcat, and if that Soulcat Jed landed as well, it actually hit on a creep because of the huge AoE and the random target it takes. If that had landed on Starcat, we might have seen him go down in the end, but he managed to Windrun out, so mid's going to be a bit of a wash. If they don't get their combo off perfectly and manage to deal enough damage in that time, I believe Tulex may be going... No, he's going for Edict. I thought he may go Lightning there just to try and get a couple of kills on that Windrunner early on. But they seem to want to push that tower and bottom lane. If the Lone Druid doesn't die, that's his lane.
Absolutely. Leader of the scoreboard right now is Kranich on Storm Spirit. 16 for 12, man. He's doing a very good job. Focusing very much on just doing some correct last hitting and some good damage output also on Darkseer. That Stout Shield does block some damage, but still enough incoming at the moment. But I guess Iron Shell is a great skill or a great tool for still picking up some gold. This high ground ward right here is just there to establish lane dominance, giving vision, especially on this initiative hero and Shadow Demon for that disruption. So he knows when Windrunner is a little bit slacking when it comes down to positioning. He can go in there, disrupt, set up that stun, and just force him out of the lane. And as soon as, even if Windrunner survives, they will still force her out, which means that they will have freedom to farm that lane continuously. And now we also have Darkseer just disrupting the neutral farming of Professor Headshot on that Sand King a little bit, and pulling going on both sides. But the gold graph basically says that at the moment there's a slight gold advantage in the favor of Next.kz thus far, and Gyrocopter 17 for 5, picked up a Helm of Iron Will, so he might go for some lifesteal here.
Yeah, and that XP and gold advantage comes from the SK, obviously pulling and stacking, and the dual lane at mid. Next.kz have a solo top, solo mid, technically a solo bot with that gyro with the Earthshaker stacking and pulling and managing to do that correctly. The Lone Druid's Spirit Bear has actually tried to come and disrupt that and pull the creep wave.
Mid lane, Stalkcat! Yeah, goes down first. I just caught the end of this. Diabolic Edict doing enough damage, and the Windrunner actually wore off. They stunned, or basically chain stunned perfectly, disruption into that stun. And it appears that actually Windrunner used that Windrun before she got disrupted, because it lasted for such a short time after she got back out. Actually on the top lane, Darkseer goes down as well, so only missing the first blood bonus goal by a couple of seconds is what SGC just did.
They got first blood.
Oh yeah. Kranich on the top lane. Wanted, yeah.
Yeah, the Lone Druid managing to keep control of his lane to a certain extent. The Earthshaker obviously making things a little bit messy for him.
Yeah. And yeah, 2 for nil thus far for SGC. Good for pointing that one out. And the jungling Enigma already picked up his soul ring, 500 gold on top of that. And as of late, it's always been, almost always has been, with Enigmas, that they went for like some power treads just to beef up a little bit, and then into a mech, and then either a blink dagger or a direct BKB, so they don't really care about that surprise effect that they just want to kind of walk in there, magic immune, and be like, that is right, that's a black hole right here. What you gonna do about it?
The item on Mantis, I'm guessing he's going Helm of the Dominator. I can't see any
Yeah.
other logical explanation there, but I haven't seen that come out of a gyrocopter before.
Yeah, he had that helm. Now he has enough gold to pick up that Mask of Death, and then he'll have a Helm of the Dominator, giving him some decent damage, some decent lifesteal, as well as the ability to dominate creeps.
And that's a good point. That is very, very clever. With that flat cannon maxed up, he's going to start stacking the ancients on his side very early on, pulling and stacking them. And at some point, I don't know, around 15 minutes in possibly, he'll have 7 or so stacks, and he'll just run over there, flat cannon, and take them all down.
Yeah, Gyrocopter is a very nice hero. One level of homing missile only. I don't know why.
It's not that useful. Like you said, in pro games, people are just going to right-click it down, especially against a Spirit Bear.
Yeah, but why they even put that 1 point into it?
Just for annoyance, if he loads it up with an Earthshaker, if they do actually manage to get the combo off, then they're going to send Warlock off the lane, or possibly kill him.
That bear taking some good punishment. Now sprouting Mantis as well. He's eating some good damage, actually. He still doesn't care. He's just like, alright, I'll walk back, but I will stop every couple times just to attack. And now he realizes that he's taking too much damage. 500 is what he took, using that salve right now to come right back up. But he didn't spend any gold just yet. Maybe he wants to wait until the lane pushes out, so he can access the side shop. Movement coming in from equal, but that dire ward actually spotting it out, and now Warlock immediately moving back. That's a very, very nice ward to have if you're on the long lane solo. It's going to run out soon, and that will make sure that we'll have one very sad lone druid there. Some really aggressive movement also from Tulex in the middle lane. He's sitting on 25 last hits. Windrunner in the middle lane on 29. So she's been relatively unimpressed by what dangers there are in bottom lane. Yeah, the middle lane is just very, very tough for her to deal with, but she did a good job last hitting nonetheless. 41 last hits, still the leader of the scoreboard. No, actually Lucky with 44, but I guess those neutrals don't give as much gold as the lane creeps. And now the middle tier 1 tower goes down to exactly 130 HP. Defensive disruption, and the power shot flies through, almost getting the kill on off Eck. And yeah, that's because he just moved perpendicularly to where the power shot was coming from and thus dodged it. Now Tulex moving in, grabbing that last hit, and even going into Stallcat. Very nice move here from him. He gets shackled, and Stallcat had to be very careful there.
Yeah, this Darkseer having not a terrible time up here. He's already level 6, so he's actually doing quite well. But he does have a smug on him, so at some point... Has somebody been stacking creeps for him? No, there haven't been any stacks I can see. Maybe he'll go do that a bit later on, but Tulex there at top lane with an Invis rune.
Found himself that Darkseer. They don't know that actually there's an invisible hero at the moment because there was no ward at that top rune spot. Blink goes out from Darkseer. He does anticipate some movement coming in from here as well because the mid lane was missing. Big jump in from Storm Spirit here, chaining it off with the stuns from Tulex as well as Professor Headshot on Sand King, that it makes one dead Darkseer. Very nice jump in there from Storm Spirit.
Yeah, I was just waiting for the timing there. They had to do it soon because they knew the new creep wave was coming and that would reduce the damage of the Edict from that Lesh. But they timed that very nicely, especially with the Burrow Strike on top, just to make sure that he wasn't going to surge away at any point.
Yeah, and they take themselves to top tier 1 as well, and as you just saw guys on my screen, the gold advantage is now well in favor of the Dire. Above 2k, that is because of those the gold as well as the kill advantage. And Warlock on the bottom lane is up to 22 lasted. That's alright. Well, considering that he's on the long lane. Now a big entangle here on Mantis. Gets down to half HP. That's just such an annoyance to deal with. It's a 20% entangle chance, so on average every 5 attacks it's gonna happen.
Yeah. And I think if he didn't go for treads there, Warlock would have gone after him, but very smartly deciding to finish off his treads or build them up rather than finishing off the Helm of the Dominator. Because that obviously can come later. The stacks aren't that necessary this early on, but Kranich here coming in with a haste rune.
Yeah. Hasted Storm Spirit gets scouted up by the wards, and immediate movement back from Earthshaker as well as Mantis, and Kranich going all the way in. Nice work here. Even leaving his Remnant behind, it gives some great vision, as you can see right here guys. It goes right around here. It's aerial vision as well, so if you use it outside the Roshan pit, you can scout into it, what's happening there. Stalkhead now looking for the Shackle, and he's eating a lot of damage. Kranich has tried to jump away, but actually gets chainsed that perfectly. The disruption makes sure that he survives. At least this Mantis now is there with his ultimate, and a great jump from Kranich, getting a kill on the Enigma before he himself goes down. Now he has to make sure that he doesn't get hit by this homing missile, but it's only at level 1. Will he go down? He survives. It's a level 1 missile. Great play from SGC here. That was really impressive, man.
Yeah, that was some really good stuff. The defensive disruption, then Storm ulting out at the exact right time before that Gyro ulti landed on him.
Yeah, that was an amazing play from SGC. Securing themselves a 4-0 kill score at the moment. Level 1 rocket flying through. I love the sound it makes when it connects. It's just like clink.
Enigma rushing that mech. Very typical now, as you said, to go for sort of tankier build rather than rushing the dagger, which was quite prevalent earlier on. But getting that mech going into power treads or whatever he chooses gives a lot more pushing power and utility to this hero rather than just being a walking ultimate.
Exactly. Phase was also up on Lone Druid, and he gave that to his bear because he's just such a nice guy. Jump from Storm actually on Mantis on the gyrocopter, and he looks in big trouble. And Tangle also coming out, and just too much nuke potential because of all of SGC except for that Sand King is on the bottom lane. Now they will transition into a tier 1 tower push, which will mean that all tier 1 towers are gone for Next.kz. I don't think they can defend right now, judging from the movement on the minimap as well as the Edict and that bear chopping away. There's nothing that they can do. It goes down right now. All tier 1 towers are down, and as I was pointing out earlier, Sand King has been sitting on that top lane just farming away. So SGC making sure that Sand King gets that gold together for that Blink Dagger, so they have some very strong team fight as well to deal with the team fight that Next.kz has. So they do take into account the fact that Next.kz has some great ultimates, Darkseer, Enigma, as well as Earthshaker, but they will have a big epicenter, and that item advantage that Sand King gets with that early Blink Dagger might give them the edge they need. And now they are not stopping at the tier 1, pressuring the tier 2 on the bottom right after, and it's gonna drop.
Sand King there, not even using his Sandstorm to juke around. Oh, very clever.
Nice work.
He didn't even know Enigma was coming, but he felt something was wrong. Burrow striked onto that high ground, teleporting out.
Yeah, that's just like being that extra safe thing. We saw that yesterday when I casted a game where there was a Furion. That was actually Puppy, exactly. And he used a TP scroll to get out of a situation where he felt safe, or didn't know that he knew people were around, but he felt safe hiding in the fog. And then he TP'd away, tried to TP away, and he got disrupted right before he actually went through. And if he just sprouted himself, he would have actually came out alive. And that's exactly what Sand King did right there, is just making sure that you get out, even though it appears that you're safe. Stun goes out from Equal, hits an invisible Kranich, he doesn't quite quick here. Now comes the jump and the pull on Earthshaker as well. Where's SGC Warlock now using his Scream as well? Equal gets out alive though because there was a great shackle onto that Storm Spirit to his mate. Defensive disruption out as well. Man, Kranich just jumping like a pro. And now stun goes out from Sand King as well, and the ultimate as well as Lodra get that kill on Windrunner.
These entangles, I've been counting, that's 8 one-hit entangles that he's landed now. 2 or 3 on the gyrocopter and a couple on the dogs here. They must be getting really annoyed with this Syllabear now. The Lone Druid just getting so lucky.
Man, SGC going 6-0. Not losing a single tier 1 and just pushing like crazy. This game is totally going in their way right now. And the gyrocopter pick, not quite... Oh, Next.kz even going down in the middle lane, just as I was pointing out that gyrocopter pick to an ultimate from Sand King as well as Kranich. And gyrocopter drops, and did Enigma also go down on the top lane? He did. Storm Spirit got a kill on him as well. And the tier 2 on top also went down. So SGC going crazy right now. 8 kills, 0-4. Next.kz at the 14-minute mark. We already have a goal advantage of 7.5k gold. Stalkhead and Windrunner is going to go for a mech, but she's quite a ways away from that. Around 1400 gold until she has that completed. Storm Spirit is going to go for that quick Bloodstone. He will disassemble his Arcane Boots as soon as he can, or as soon as he needs to rather. Enigma. Wait a sec. Yeah, there's actually 2 bucklers up on Next.kz's side. 1 for Enigma, 1 for Windrunner.
Oh dear.
Oh man.
Dear. Well, of course, you can use the buckler and then use the mech on top of it, but I don't know what they're thinking. A bit of miscommunication, possibly?
Yeah. Blink Dagger now also up for Sand King. This game is, up to now, completely going the way of SGC. Even now, the ping going up from Next.kz to the Roshan pit, basically saying, guys, they could do anything right now. They have big map control, they have tower advantage like crazy, and if they got a Roshan right now, This would be nuts. We need a ward there.
Yeah, and finally another European team understanding the power of drums. Drums on Lesh and drums being built up on SD. We don't see it that commonly, and a lot of teams only like to build one set of drums because they don't like stacking items, but such a brilliant item. You Bracer, Robe, it gives you the health, gives you the strength, gives you lots of intelligence, and also the speed buffs. I mean, just the natural speed buff it gives you, the passive, rather than the charges. It's just amazing for the item that it is and the gold cost. It's just a very efficient, all-rounded item.
Yeah, the Chinese also very much love doing that, as you pointed out, and now SGC is going for Roshan. I like drums as well, especially when the game is not going so well. It gives some good stats, and that those charges also help out. Makes the difference in some chases as well, in team fights.
Well, taking down towers and Roshan as well. If you're up against a tower and you want to take it as quickly as possible, if your enemy team are chasing you down or getting into position, pop one of the drum charges and you're pretty much set. But yeah, there is an Ursa there stacking those Ancients up for that Gyrocopter now.
Yeah, nicely done. And Roshan is gonna drop uncontestedly to SGC. They know that they have a great advantage right now. The Aegis is gonna increase that 100% when it comes down to one hero, because you will have to deal with him twice, and it's gonna be Storm Spirit that they will have to deal with twice. It appears that this tier 2 tower on the Radiant side in the middle, I think his life is over, man. Nice flag here, Storm Games clan, with all the players on there.
And the manager at the bottom.
And the manager at the bottom. And some very aggressive warding again. They just really understand what this is all about. Stalk in the middle lane now gets initiated upon. Also, it's a soul catcher. Kranich takes care of that Earthshaker. And Windrunner drops shortly after. And Kranich is not done just yet. Lucky gets slowed by the passive of Kranich. And now Tulex wants to get a stun up, but gets... Oh, here's actually Sanking with that blink stun. And Tulex might have been stunned and not able to get that Split Earth out, but that is what your teammate Sanking is there with that blink for. And now they will push the tier 2 mid.
This is going to be difficult for Next. I mean, the Gyro just isn't fat enough. He's not going to be able to stand up in his fights without a BKB. So I'm guessing that's going to be the item he'll go for next. The stacked Ancients, though, that he's got ready there, he can't access them because of all the pressure coming out of SGC.
Dude, 11 for 0 in this game.
Yeah, romping down their lanes. Got no chance to farm up or find anywhere to get that gold income he desperately needs. What's he got now? 2.4k almost?
Bloodstone also up on Storm Spirit. Lone Druid will be going for Radiance in the Radiant jungle. A big jump onto Mantis. Tries to TP himself out using the fog perfectly, but just not enough. Gets stunned twice. They just make sure that he can't get out at all. And Storm Spirit secures himself that killing spree and gets the kill on the most important hero on the Next.kz map, and that just slimmed their chances even more of even getting back into this game. 12 for 0 now the kill score. The warding from SGC is super aggressive. The Bloodstone is completed on Storm Spirit. The Blink Dagger is up on Sanking, as you pointed out earlier, and not even mentioning that Aegis up on Kranich as well.
Yeah, I mean, SGC are just working really, really well. Tight gameplay. Every time they've been roaming as 4, taking kills where they need them, taking towers where they need them, and there's always 1 or 2 heroes that are on the off lane or in the forest farming. I mean, earlier on, as you pointed out, it was SK to get the Arcanes and Dagger up early. Right now, it's Lone Druid sitting in the forest to try and get up his Relic. What's he sitting on now? Yep, 3700, very close to it. He'll get his Radiance up at around the 25th minute mark, which is pretty standard. But with all these tier 1 towers and tier 2 towers down.
Hey Durka, you should maybe check out the items and check out what Windrunner is going for right now.
It's a mech, isn't it? Yep. Yep.
So we see Next.kz utilizing the double mech strategy, because obviously mech heals 250 HP, so they're like, hey man, let's heal up 500 HP in teamfights, and then Mantis is like, totally man, it sounds great. Metagame shift, here we come.
It's I'm not going to say it's bad, but it's not good on so many different levels. Because I mean, the passive aura doesn't stack with, obviously the health regen, and there's a time limit to the actual active ability. I can't remember the timing on it. Is it 30 seconds?
I think it's actually the full cooldown duration, isn't it? Isn't it 45 seconds?
I can't remember. It's possibly possible to change
Oh,
that.
middle lane, Kranich is here, and he gets a pull out on Darkseer. He's not as tank as he wants to be right now. He doesn't have that hood up completed, so but only 910 base HP. Here's the ultimate also used. He tries to, surges himself out, and a great shackle on two heroes. Kranich looks to be in a little bit of trouble, but a good defensive disruption in a black hole now. Keeping two legs in place, and Leshrac is going to drop here most likely. So the first kill, no! A big Echo Slam also. But that was still in favor of Next.kz, and here's the epicenter as well, getting all the heroes really low. 3 heroes dead for Next.kz, 1 down for SGC in that Leshrac. And this looks like almost a team wipe. Darkseer made it out alive, but all 4 heroes from Next.kz dead, and Leshrac also the only one dropping.
Wow. Next.kz, they're thinking they've got the upper hand because of all the low hit point heroes in SGC. They do manage to take down Leshrac, but the SK ulti coming over the top after the black hole finish, just absolutely ruining them. And the Storm, obviously now with 14 charges on his Bloodstone, not short of mana at all, just jumping in and out all around that team fight. He actually jumped out 0.3 seconds before that black hole landed.
Yeah, that was also a very perfect epicenter from Sanking there. For a moment when I saw that, I just saw the HP dropping from Leshrac, and then I heard the Echo Slam, and Leshrac wasn't dead. So for some reason I assumed that Urshak was on Leshrac's team. He did eventually go down. Urshak's level 1 ultimate didn't do as much as Next.kz was hoping for, and this is a very nice strategy from SGC, just securing that map advantage right now, that map control, and kind of...
Dude, look at Windrunner.
Oh man. So we realized this earlier than Windrunner, and then she probably was like, guys, I got mech completed, and then Enigma is like, no man, I got it done already. Now 2legs gets shackled. What? Oh, the irony, man. 2legs gets shackled, but a jump in from Kranich disabling equal one more time. Mech goes out. They might need a second one here. Big blink in from Sand King. Stun on 2 heroes. Double kill now. Actually, a triple kill on Stormspirit, and he's not done just yet. He used all of his mana to jump in. Next.kz is left with no choice but to call the GG here.
I shouldn't laugh at it, but that's pretty bad. I mean, there's no explanation for it. Your teammates should not be building the same item of you when they do not stack.
Maybe they're high or something.
Possibly, but it seemed that, was it Lucky? The Earthshaker wasn't too happy about that, and he said GG and just quit straight away.
Yeah.
Even though this is a defense, isn't it? There's a time rating in this competition.
Yeah, they shouldn't disconnect out.
It's too late now, they've all disconnected, so it's going to be 22 minutes and, what, 20 seconds or so when we go to the throne. Maybe a little later. I didn't check when the last person disconnected. Yeah, don't leave the game. There we go, 24 seconds, 4 seconds off.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think that's the summary of this game, but yeah. Well played by SGC.
Absolutely. Not to take anything away from them, they've been performing amazingly. They won their lanes, they pulled their strategy off perfectly. Especially that dual lane in the mid has been working out amazingly for them. Props for Next.kz also for trying out that gyrocopter pick. Didn't work out this time. Maybe Mantis will have to go back to those really, really big melee heroes, such as Anti-Mage. And just kind of an awkward game, man. But yeah, that was the defense. Next.kz losing to SGC. Good game, guys. And let me stop the recording right here. Actually, let me switch over to this here. Thank you all guys very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. And this was actually the one and only game for the defense. So we got some more things coming up for you right now on stream, but it won't be recorded. So let me thank you all for tuning in and stop the recording right there.